Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Lunch Break Live. And I am sharing what I would call some of my coronavirus concoctions. Like you, perhaps. I'm still staying at home. I'm wearing a mask outside. I'm being very careful. And I'm also trying to keep my body healthy um, to keep it strong. Now, want to say I'm not a doctor. Want to say do your own research. Want to say don't take my word for anything. I'm just telling you what I do and what I've been doing during this strange time and while I'm quarantining to keep myself energized. Some people say I have too much energy. But anyway, let me start with what I have every morning is a cup of joe. Okay, so I'm having a cup of coffee right here with my environmentally friendly Save the Rainforest coffee cup. Oh, I can't stand when people do that. All right, I can tell you right now, I get my coffee from Brewing Good Coffee Company. This one is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, which is what I aspire to be, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And the great thing about the Brewing Good Coffee Company is that 10% of all the proceeds go to supporting animal nonprofits. So this is part of the vegonomy. I love these guys. I met them at the National Animal Rights Conference where they were serving coffee to the conference goers in Washington, D.C., I believe, but it may have been in L.A. I've gone to so many of them. But in any case, Brewing Good Coffee Company, here's another one of their concoctions, Take Flight. And what I do is I kind of mix them up. And so I have a little strong, a little not so strong. And here it is. I put them in my little coffee concoction container. And in the morning, that's what I have. And I usually do a mix of plant-based milks. This week, I'm on Silk, Cashew, and Nut Pods, which is hazelnut milk. So, you know, a lot of people think of plant-based milks as only going to be soy milk or almond milk. Au contraire. There are tons of different milks. There's macadamia nut milk, not for dogs. Dogs happen to be allergic to macadamia nuts. But Milkadamia is another great product. I've tried that and used that. I kind of mix it up. But hazelnut creamer, dairy free, unsweetened, delicioso. It gives it that nice creamy feel. And then this creamy cashew silk, also unsweetened, because I gave up one day at a time, knock on wood, additional processed sugar since December 28th. And that's another thing that I've been doing that's made me feel so much better. I don't wake up with that sugar hangover anymore, thank God. So that's part one of my coronavirus concoction. Now, I have been trying, because I do take vitamins, and I have this little vitamin box here, and I do take B12, being a vegan. Now, before the non-vegans, or the pre-vegans, as I like to call them, say, well, look, that shows that if you're vegan, it's not enough. And yeah, vitamins are a multi-billion dollar industry, and 99.999% of the people taking vitamins are not vegans. So I rest my case, Your Honor. The prosecution rests on that one, or the defense rests, I guess it would be. So I realized that to wash that down, it might be good to add a few more bells and whistles, as it were. And so I usually start with some orange juice. And I have a little shot glass here. And so we have some orange juice with some pulp. There you go. One of those accidentally vegan products that's in most households. There you go. Now, this is where I say, once again, I'm not a doctor. Don't take my word for anything. I am simply describing the coronavirus concoction that I've come up with, and I mix it up and I change it on a daily basis or a weekly basis. There's been a lot of talk about turmeric's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant qualities, and so we know that a relative of ginger, I'm reading from web.com because I want to be accurate here. A relative of ginger, this vivid yellow-orange spice is common to Indian, Southeast Asian, and Middle Eastern cooking. It has also been used as medicine in places like India for centuries to treat a variety of issues. Lately, it has been touted as a superfood because it has something called curcumin, which is one of its primary ingredients, which is thought to help fight inflammation. And inflammation can be a good thing if you've got a cut, but if you're constantly having inflammation, it can also be a bad thing. So I put in some turmeric. Now, again, this is just what I'm doing. Think about what you might do research, talk to your medical professionals, but boom, I put a little turmeric in there, and I've been told by numerous people and read that to activate the turmeric, it's good to have pepper. Now, you might say, that's crazy having pepper for breakfast, but you don't taste the pepper at all. You just put that in there to activate the turmeric. Two other ingredients that I've been playing around with a little bit, and again, in pretty much all the descriptions that I've read, they say, if you're pregnant, if you have underlying health conditions, if you have kidney stones, gallbladders, blah, 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 the list goes on. Be careful. Consult your doctor. Do your own research. I can't emphasize it enough. I'm just talking about some of the things that I do. So there's two other ingredients that I've tossed in lately. And one of them is, and I'm going to go to, I did some printing out on the internet here so we could better describe it, Maca. So what is Maca? Now, I can tell you right here, it's a little, well, it's a white powder. I'm going to put it, it's not really a white powder. It's a beige powder. There it is, right there. Okay, Maca is sometimes referred to as Peruvian ginseng, mainly grows in the Andes of central Peru in harsh conditions at high altitudes. It's a cruciferous vegetable related to broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and according to a lot of people, it has, it's often put in smoothies. That's why I don't feel so worried about telling you about it. But it apparently has some pretty decent health benefits according to what I've read. So again, anti-inflammatory, and it's packed with nutrients. So I'm not going to go crazy with this because more is known about turmeric than about maca, as far as I can tell. But I'm gonna put just a tiny little bit in, just a teensy tiny little dash here. Boing. And now the final one that I've been just looking at and trying. And by the way, all of these are legal and available on the internet. And I always try to pick organic because when you're getting stuff, you never know. Well, if it's not organic, what else is going into it? So I would always urge whatever you get organic. But one of the last things we're going to talk about here is Moringa. And it's very, very pretty. Take a look at it. Look at this Moringa. It sounds like a song. Now, this is an antioxidant and an anti-inflammatory, according to Doctors Health Press. And I always enjoy checking out with Dr. Michael Greger, who said, in comparison, based on nutrition analysis, it appears to be quite nutritious, though in comparison to other foods, various parts of moringa have more iron than spinach, more vitamin C than oranges, more potassium than bananas, and the calcium content is also very high. Bottom line, if comparable in price to other healthy vegetables like broccoli, you can give it a try, unless you're pregnant, trying to get pregnant, have infertility, or other issues. So once again, I'm just telling you what I've been doing, and I'm not advising anybody else to do it, but I'm going to just take a tiny little bit of this little green and the moringa, which nobody disputes is very high in vitamin C, vitamin A, calcium, and potassium, and also has protein. And I'm going to just put it in there, and I'm going to mix it up. Check that out. Check that out. Yum. And now I'm going to take my B12 vitamin. There we go. Pop it in my mouth. I can tell you that I have tried to use the coronavirus quarantine era in my personal life as an opportunity for growth. I was never really much of a health food vegan. I was strictly animal rights activist, don't want to kill animals. And then, of course, as I got on the journey, I started seeing that, wow, animal agriculture is a leading, now there's a new white paper, it says the leading cause of greenhouse gas emissions. It is indisputably, the leading cause of habitat destruction, wildlife extinction, and human world hunger, because animals eat so much more than they produce as food. And it is a leading cause of lifestyle diseases like heart disease, and also processed meat has been declared by the World Health Organization to be cancer causing. It is a carcinogen, official. It's funny how the mainstream media, advertiser-based mainstream media, doesn't talk about that, but it is. So by being plant-based, I'm automatically, I believe, healthier than the general population. And yet I wasn't really focused so much on that. Now, when I'm in court, I go out to walk my dogs, and if I have to do important errands, but I'm really, the cases are spiking, and I'm staying home as much as I can. So I'm trying to use this as an opportunity for growth. Whenever we're given lemons, let's make lemonade, as Ingrid Newkirk-Kapita says. And I think that for me, what I've tried to do is just eat healthier, because I'm not going out to vegan restaurants, gosh darn it, several times a week and being tempted by incredible desserts and fried food. I'm trying to bring more quinoa into my diet. I've been using the Instant Pot to whip up quinoa, and I find that I like it. Here's my big reveal, is that now that I'm forced to eat healthy food to a certain degree, not forced, but that the situation kind of leans me toward eating healthy food, I'm finding that I like it. I'm making quinoa with tofu, extra firm tofu, some vegetables that I got from Costco, believe it or not. Here, I went to Costco. I didn't go to Costco. I ordered from Costco, and they delivered, and I just said, okay, I need vegetables. Well, guess what? These vegetables, this stir fry, I love it. I love it. It's actually a great medley of vegetables. And so I'm making the quinoa. And what I do is I just put the extra firm tofu, which I also got at Costco, on the pan, very little oil, some Bragg's aminos, whip it up, throw the vegetables on, steam it so that they're nice and cooked without being overcooked. And then I put that on a little bit of quinoa. Now, I wouldn't have gone out and done that normally when I had other options that were easier to access, like going to some of the greatest restaurants in the world right here in LA. And that doesn't mean expensive. That means just some of my favorite vegan restaurants. Thai Vegan, Avo Cafe, Stuff I Eat, Sage Restaurant, Gracias Madre, Cafe Gratitude, Thai Vegan, the list goes on and on, Veggie Grill. But because I'm staying home a lot, I'm actually finding myself having to really just cook up basic food. And the shocker of all shockers is that I like it. It tastes good. So I'm going to try to use this time to grow as a person and really walk the walk and eat a whole food plant-based diet. Now, if you run into me at like Yogurt, hey, let me tell you, Yogurt's one of my favorite places. I'm sort of glad it's on the other side of town because I would be there every single day. But they do have a completely 100% sugar-free, like, in other words, just date sweetened vegan soft serve ice cream that is delicious. So I can still have that. So if you run into me at Yogurt, know that I'm having the date soft serve. But I'm really trying to use this as an opportunity for growth. We all know that this crisis happened because of our abuse of animals, and conspiracy theories aside about labs that have been discredited, the overwhelming number of experts have concluded it started in a wet market. In fact, it's cropping up again. They've spotted more coronavirus at the wet markets. And we know that swine flu came from pigs, mad cow disease came from cows, avian flu came from birds. So the best thing we can do to keep ourselves alive and save the planet from another pandemic is to go plant-based. And however you do it is fine. Believe me, I still have some Beyond Meat burgers in the freezer and I eat them. But I'm also trying to incorporate a lot of these real basics like the quinoa and the brown rice and just the veggies. And so what I would suggest is use this time in quarantine as an opportunity for self-growth as applies to particularly what you eat. And we know that we can have fabulous 4th of July's coming up, 4th of July parties, barbecues without having any rotting flesh on the grill. We can have the veggie burgers. We can have corn. We can make artichokes and slice them in half and put them on the grill. We can make tofu skewers with onions and all sorts of great peppers. So I'm just saying, use this as an opportunity for growth and for change and to develop habits that are going to save our planet. Because one of the things that we're not talking about right now is climate change as much as we have been in the past. And that is still a massive problem. And we are barreling toward an ecological apocalypse with ice caps melting and temperatures rising and extreme weather becoming more frequent. And so for the sake of every living being on this planet, it is imperative that we start adopting habits that will reduce our carbon footprint. And the easiest and best way to do that is just to adopt a plant-based diet. So now you've heard about my coronavirus concoction. I thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you checking in, and check out Jane and Jane's, all of our initiatives. For example, we just started something called plantbasedneighbor.com. Just go to plantbasedneighbor.com and sign up. You don't have to be a vegan. Vegans get a green dot, but you can be on the journey or veg curious. So we're trying to establish communities where vegans can connect with each other and also mentor people who are curious about veganism or on the journey to veganism, maybe having a hard time giving up, for example, cheese. We can help those folks transition. It's happened organically right in my own neighborhood with people who know I'm vegan, asking me questions and getting information that they can use to make the transition. So if you're interested, and I hope you are, check out plantbasedneighbor.com. Right now it's in beta testing as a website, but we will launch it as a full-fledged app in about a month after we do our beta testing and complete that. And of course, we have New Day, New Chef on Amazon Prime, which is our vegan cooking show. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, it's free. And then, of course, there is basically all of our other programming, which starts on Facebook, goes to janeunchained.com and is available for you at any time of the day or night. janeunchained.com, thousands of vegan recipes. So I want to thank you for joining us today. I want you to have a very safe day. I do urge people to wear masks. There's a lot of studies that show that it reduces the chance of you coming down with this, and it's a very serious thing. It's invisible, but it's still out there. Stay safe. Thank you. See you next time.